collapsing. We are not worried about cloning. I think it's because if Bhagavan did not allow it, it would not happen. Because you can only clone the body, mind, sense complex. Not even so much the mind. You can't clone the jiva. Correct? Jiva is the jiva who occupies this body. That is more interesting to me. Is that who occupies the body of a clone? What kind of a karma must that person have? I thought about it a little bit. And then I thought must have been a copycat in the last life. And this is how the karma is expressive. Yes. Cloned jiva. Boliye.
One thing I struggle with is, we've been brought up, trying to rationalize saying if something bad is happening to you today, it's because you did something in your previous life.
Correct.
What does Vedanta have to say?
Same thing. It's correct.
But how do we correct that?
How you correct that? Through praise. Morning I told you, I gave you a very wonderful recipe.
So in many ways then we're talking about the same thing that Christianity talks about.
No. In Christianity there is no redemption other than to say I am saved. And after you say I am saved, you go back and rob a bank, still you are saved.
Yes.
We don't say that. We say that, our prayer is, oh Lord, please save me from all saviors. That is our prayer. Pujya Swamiji said this when somebody put a mic and the Millennium Conference. What is your prayer for the new millennium? He says, oh Lord, please save me from all saviors. That's what he said. And in New York. And so this is what, we are not a salvific tradition. You are already saved. You don't call yourself a sinner. You don't call yourself something wrong with you. No. Papa is there, yes, but you are not a papi. Papa is there, punya is there. But you are not a sinner. And so what? You have to clean off that papa through putting in force all other good karma. That is one way, on the relative level, to overcome papa in the form of vignas and problems and difficulties in life through prayer. Prayer is an inoculation, I said, like antibodies to the papa. You unleash dana, dharma, punya, all the punya karma to overcome that papa. Relatively. Absolutely, on the absolute level, you have to drop the notion I am the doer, which you have been carrying for many lifetimes. And so therefore, when I dissociate myself from this bank account, then how does it belong to me? It doesn't belong to me. I'll give you an example. During the last elections, there were some people on the ballot throughout the country who, few people died before the election. And then still the electorate was so sick of the other people standing, they made a statement by voting for the dead person because it was too late to take the name out. The ballot had already been printed. So it was the date had passed, they died in an untimely way, and so they were not there. But they won the election. The dead man won the election because the electorate was sick of the people who were living and standing for election. So if the dead man wins the election, so where all the all the votes that he banked, whose account will it go to? No one. This is how it is. So the karta dies. That is the karta, and the bhokta is sacrificed at the altar of the jnana yajna. That is the sacrifice. I am karta, that kartritvam is gone. I am bhokta, I am a victim, I am an agent, is gone. So where can even Chitragupta cannot run behind you and pin the papa punya. There is nowhere to this thing. Nowhere to go. All the papas go. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante cha asya karmani. All karmas go. When? Tasmin drishte paravare. When this avara, this individual who thinks I am the effect, I am a lowly fellow, sees oneself as para, the ultimate. Same thing that we have been talking about. The heart knot of ignorance is torn asunder, all doubts come to rest, and all karmas just poof, go. Karma is a model. Until one is hooked on to this identity as a karta, the Vedas allow you to hook on to that because you have to start somewhere. You have to own it up before giving it up. If you don't own it, you can't give, like you cannot give away your neighbor's house as dana. You can give your house as dana, okay. So you have to first own it and then give it up. This is what you're doing. This is the sacrifice. I'm glad you asked that question. I hope it's a little clearer. Boliye.
What is your thought process on causes of genetic makeup? Like they say that many
Karma.
deformities, diseases and all that are
Karma.
caused by genetics.
Karma.
Can prayer overcome that?
If it is not too strong, it can overcome that. If it is too strong, it can mitigate that. If it cannot mitigate that, what prayer does is at the very least give you the strength to accept it. Yeah. Sometimes it's not even the child's karma. If there's a genetic defect, prenatal defect, it's the parent's karma. It's very interesting. Gahana karmano gatihi. Bhagavan is asked in the 3rd chapter, what is this karma? He says, I don't know. You know, because all the things you do, you only know. No one knows. How it's going to fructify, no one knows. Dense is the way of karma, he says. Mysterious is the way of karma.
Swami, one common question in our Gita, Vichara class, any other satsang, everything looks so beautiful, so revealing. The
Yeah.
moment I step out,
Yeah.
like the depreciation that you were saying.
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you?
You have to continue studying. Yeah, talk to Jagdish, he will tell you. Yeah, he has been taking online classes. Dr. Prem has been taking online classes. They will tell you the way. You can hook up. You have to have this. You also have your Gita group. The frequency is what is important. The frequency of the exposure. And then when I do this, when I frequently engage with this, yeah, Shankar knows all these people are studying regularly. So you have to see, you have to talk to all of them. They will tell you how to log on, live stream, all these things are there. So you can listen. And the frequency of the exposure blesses me in wonderful ways. Because the wrong orientations that keep coming and occluding the knowledge, disturbing my understanding, I find, and all the reactions and the reactivity within me, I find three things that happen. One is the frequency of those reactions become less, the intensity of the Abrahman coming up becomes less, and then the recovery time from the episodes of reactivity also is less. This is what we have to understand. The more you study, the more it is like this. So that's why you are more in Brahman, less in Abrahman. I suppose that's the truth of the word Abrahamic religions. Abrahman.
That was my question when you go for interfaith conferences. How do you make them realize that there's something beyond Abrahamic religions?
I don't worry about that. No, I just say what I'm saying. Really speaking, that's not even the agenda. The more pressing agenda is to make them understand that non-Abrahamic traditions are also worthy. First of all, they exist. Sometimes they don't even understand. And then they are worthy of respect. This is what to understand. So usually I don't talk like this. I mean, some version of this, but I will talk about common things. Things that bind us together. Things that we have in common. You have to reach to the heart because they are also seekers. All of us, everyone knows what it is like to lose the way. If people have lost the way, we cannot blame them for it. And maybe they have, all forms of prayers are, sacrosanct. They are holy. They have their own way of relating. They have their own way of praying. I don't mind that. They can pray to Jesus. They can say, I'm saved. No problem. Let them think of them as sinner. Let them think of them. All this is harmless. But the moment they come and try to step on my toes and to give me this understanding when I don't want it, that is when I have to speak up. And that is when I do speak up. I tell them, the good news that you're trying to share may be bad news for the rest of the population. This is what it is. They say sharing the good news, they say that. Now, this may not be good news for me. Because how are you going to convert someone? In order to convert someone, you cannot say that your tradition is great, therefore follow my tradition. That's not a nice way to convert. How do you convert someone? You say, your tradition is horrible. You are wrong. Your parents are wrong. Your way of life is wrong. Your beliefs are wrong. Whatever you did is wrong. Your whole lineage is wrong. Then whatever, you are inferior. And therefore you have to follow me. This is how one converts. And this is where I say that this is manipulative. This is exploitative. In fact, Swamiji says this is rank violence. This is violence. This is what has to be overcome. You pray, you say you are, Jesus is my savior, no problem. I will pray with you, no problem. But you have to be able to accommodate that there are other ways of understanding, that there are other ways of relating to Bhagavan. Because as long as it is karma, because prayer is a karma, as long as it's karma, I can pray mentally, I can pray orally with chanting bhajans like we did in the beginning of class, I can pray with puja, yajna, kaikam karma, vachikam karma, manasam karma. There are options. With regard to knowing, there is no option. You have to know as it is. So prayer is karma. So with karma there are infinite options. And so why is your prayer superior to my prayer? This they have to understand. All prayers have to be equal. So I bring in those kinds of points, that all ways of, all names. Because even in the Islamic faith they have something very nice. They have like a Sahasranama. They have 99 names of Allah. It is just like our 108 names. That's all it is. So we have to bring them together, and right now we need to focus on the commonalities, because otherwise already they are feeling guilty. They are already on the defensive. So I don't go really with any other agenda than to connect. And then if they ask, sometimes they will say talk about Vedanta, talk about some things. I will just talk about whatever I know. That's all.
You said in the Vedic tradition, during the yajna, you got to give a life sacrifice.
No, that's not what I said. I said only in kamya karma. Some, kama vishesha, some specific thing that one is longing. It's an option. It's not compulsory. No.
Some reason, it's much easier for me to think of God being outside me. So I can go to God and say, help me.
Yeah. Take it. For the time being, you are allowed to do that. Next time I come, we will change that. Take it. No problem. You can say both inside and outside is God. This God is praying to that God. This God which is feeling confined and claustrophobic within this body-mind-sense complex, is feeling comfortable to invoke the Lord of the universe and say, where else will I go? You are the only refuge. Help me, save me. You can read the Purusha Sukta from that angle also.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you ask any Purohit or Pandit, just a pure Sanskrit scholar, probably that's how they will look at it. It's okay, but that is not the ultimate. Because there is enough in it to show that this knowledge is there. Yeah.
Was it any time when human beings were sacrificed in those Kanya
I don't
karma?
think so. I don't
Because
Kamya
some of
karma, I don't
the
think so.
Western,
Yeah.
they portray that the humans were
Yeah, we have a Wendy Doniger parampara. Yeah.
They were not allowed, right? But some of the Western literature in English, they say that this was that.
Human beings will do anything, and then they'll say it is sanctioned also. It's not sanctioned. The same Veda which says this Bali is an option also says ahimsa paramo dharma. Kalanjam na bhakshayet. Do not eat meat. Suram na pibet. Don't consume alcohol. Don't harm animals. And always we say, even in the Shanti Mantra for this, Shanno astu dvipade, shan chatushpade. All the bipeds, tripeds, quadrupeds. Yeah, let them all, let them be a source of blessing for us. Let us bless them, let us set them free. This is all it is about. And many times they used to tie the animals and let it free. They would not kill it. But the human greed is such that we like to live off the backs of other people who have sacrificed. And the Veda just does not accommodate or tolerate this greed, it just gives it a safe outlet till pending this understanding. That's all it is. Bolo.
Could you please say a few more words on Samarpan, surrender?
Samarpan. Samarpanam is surrender. Surrender means of what? Of the ego, really. Yeah. It's not that the ego is made invisible. The ego is told to that it has to let go. That's all. Identification. So who is surrendering? The one who is suffering from limitations is surrendering. What is the altar of surrender? Limitless. Om Achyutaya Namaha. When I say Achyuta, Chutihi Navidyate Yasya, the one who has no decline. Who is the one who is surrendering? The one who feels I am always in a decline. I am surrendering to that. So when the one who feels I am always in a decline is surrendering to the indeclinable one, what remains? The indeclinable one alone remains. The declining one has gone, disappeared. That's why it is comfortable to invoke Bhagavan as someone other than yourself. Because it gives an instant place. Anantaya Namaha. Who is saying Anantaya Namaha? The one who feels limitations on all sides. When the limited surrenders to the limitless, what is left? Limitless. Limited is gone. That's why it is comforting to do this. And it's a very important step in knowing the Purusha. Even if you didn't follow all this, even if you chant this sukta as a way to surrender all the limitations, frustrations, at this altar, it will bless you. It will prepare you for the knowledge.
The content was so rich and the way you delivered it was very nice.
Bhagavan's grace, Pujya Swamiji's grace.
Especially all the analogies that you gave and the one for the dream. We read everywhere that, Jagat is like a dream.
Yeah.
But when you said it's like you're the source for the dream and all of it is an expression of you. It really opened up,
Guru's grace, what can I say? Bhagavan's grace.
So should we do it again?
Yes.
But I need all your support.
Yes.
Not fundraising, just physically be here.
Yes.
Because without you,
It is fundraising without the D.
Yeah.
F-U-N.
first fundraising and
Fundraising.
What is it? Do we have time or do you want to end this?
If you have questions, you can.
Well, we can go on forever. So
Are there any other questions? If there is anybody else who yes, you were asking or you are just scratching your head? Are there any other questions? Yeah.
They say all the Vedic chanting women are not supposed
Guess who made that rule?
Men.
Men made that. Guess why they made that?
Control.
Well, why women cannot chant the Vedas? Who made the rule? Men must have made. Women will not make such a rule. Yeah. So logically, let us just use logic. Women made the rule. Women cannot have made the rule. Men made the rule. Kis liye? Because chanting the Veda, chanting Omkara, chanting Gayatri gives Vairagya. And these fellows had a nice sabha and thought, in my house also no cooking today because she's just sitting chanting on. In your house also no cooking. At least I thought I'll come to your house for lunch. In your house also no cooking. Arey, ye kya baat hai? Let us make a rule.
Did you just make it up? Or?
No, it was the truth. Really must have. I'm extrapolating. Yeah. I'm using my Vedantic license to extrapolate into the past and think of what happened. Yeah. That is why they made rules. Women cannot take sannyasa, women cannot leave the house, women cannot do home, because it gives vairagya. Yeah, do it, it doesn't matter. Yeah, first teach the husbands how to cook and then you can do home. It is in your interest because then food will appear on the table. Yes.
I just a very small comment going with that. You know, in Ramayana too,
Yeah.
in Sundarkand,
Yeah.
and I think one it's almost at the end, you know, Nari Shudra.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never read that. because
Yeah,
it
no,
must be
don't
so-
read that. And the only thing to read in Ramayana is see that Sita Mata does Agnihotra. And even Tara, the wife of Sugriva and Vali, does Agnihotra. She does Yajna. She says, I don't want to see your fight, I am going to do Yajna. She does Yajna and she says, may the best man, most dharmic person win. Tara was not an ordinary, Asuri. Yeah, she was a great, very dharmic. Very nice, this thing. We have analogy. Mother Sita is doing Agnihotra, and even Manu, one of the strictest people about women's rights, he himself says, Striyam Maunji Karanam Ishyate. Please, it is desired for girls to be ordained into the study of the Veda through the Munja grass, through the thread ceremony. Yes. Even he allows that. What is our problem? We have to overcome all this. Yeah.
So many
Wait, she had a question.
Is Vairagya seen as no love and affection and attachment with the near and dear ones from that person's point of view, and also the family member sees the Vairagi as, oh, he doesn't love me anymore, he doesn't care me. How do you... I
Very good question. This is full of masala. ये दोनों पूछ लिया. See, this has part A and part B, like Medicare. So, part A is from the standpoint of the Vairagi. What does the person feel? The person feels no love for the loved ones. No, that's not true. In fact, for that person who has Vairagya, everyone is a loved one. Everyone is a loved one. There is no detachment. Only retina can get detached. Nothing else can detach. Detachment can happen only when there is attachment. Asango hi ayam purusha. We have been seeing this Purusha is uninvolved in anything. That is the truth of you. All the things that you call love is just an excuse for codependency. All relationships are codependent that you call love. Oh, I cannot do without. I'll give you an example. Once I was in DC and this woman came to me and said, my mother in India is sick, I have to immediately go. And I have 2 teenage children and everyone depends on me. My husband cannot find even his keys or glasses without me. Children cannot do without me. How to go for 2-3 months and stay? I'm just so nervous. I said, go, they will be taken care of, don't worry. No, I can't go. And then to my surprise, the children and the husband wanted to meet me. I said, okay. They came and said, can you please make her go? So, सब लोग सोचता है, I'm indispensable. सब लोग सोचते हैं, I'm indispensable. Nobody can live without me. That's really not true. It's really not true. So that is one thing, that all these things that pass off as love and quote-unquote affection, attachment is all just, most of it is codependency. Love also has an objective form. What is love? It's an expression of your own delight. That's all love is. It's a dynamic form of ananda. That is what love is. It's not an action. It is shown in actions, of course, but it's just you. It's who you are. So the one who is a person of this knowledge loves everyone. There is no person that the person will not love. When the person will be lovable and will love everyone. And from the point of view of the family members, will they feel that this person is aloof? Absolutely they will feel. Why? Because for the first time they are being treated to what the true definition of functional love is. And they are not used to that. They are only used to that old addictive way of I need you, you need me, you scratch my back, you love me, and every family has its own expression. In some families, if you don't fight, the food doesn't get digested. You have to fight. Yeah, you have to ek do sunana chahiye. You have to have a nice fight and then only you get sleep at night. And this is an expression of love. Who said? And in certain other families, you silent treatment. You have to be talking all the time. If there is silent treatment, something is wrong. Nobody will express anything. Opposite. In certain other families, if you don't do things together, you don't love. And if you don't listen to each other, you don't love. Who said all this? These are all subjective definitions, vitiated by my own non-understanding of my nature and that of others. Love is giving the other person space to do what they love to do, to be who they are, giving them the freedom to be who they are, and you grow in the process. This is what I talked about in the morning. Give them the freedom to be who they are. Allow them. Love is allowing. That is love. And so, when the Vairagya, the person from the standpoint of the family members will feel betrayed. It's not the problem of the person of knowledge. The family members will say, why did you do this? No family member will like a sannyasi in their own family. It should be in the neighbor's family. Yeah. Then we can go touch the feet and then we can glorify, put malas on them and give them, chants and kumbha and everything. It shouldn't be my own child. Everybody says this. But this is not fair. This is not correct, really. So that means that we have to really have a more functional understanding of this being called love. We cannot make love into a beast of burden. Yeah. Family members will feel aloof, but they have to learn. They have to cross and transcend that aloofness. They have to see that they have not been abandoned. They have to see that this person really loves them. They have to upgrade. You have to upgrade all your apps on the phone. Like this, you have to upgrade your definition and notion of love. Yeah, this is an opportunity for the family members to grow.
On the same subject you talked about, every time you go to Vedanta class or any Gita, they keep telling you to get detached from your emotions.
Yeah, no, don't do that. No, that's not what the Gita says. Gita says...
They say do your duty, but don't get too attached to your children or, family members.
How can you do without, love? Do it. Don't get disappointed when things don't go your way. That is what they mean to say. Yeah.
Swamiji has a list of 30 qualities,
20.
I mean, those I thought were excellent.
Yeah, those are very nice. 13th chapter. Amanittvadi adambhitvam, amanitvam adambhitvam, ahimsa kshantirarjavam, acharyo Shaucham स्थैर्यम आत्मविनिग्रहः इंद्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम अनहंकार एवच जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःख दोषादि दर्शनम असक्तिः अनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारुगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि च अनन्य योगेन भक्तिः अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिः जनसंसदि then what अध्यात्मज्ञान नित्यत्वम् and tattva jnana, anusaranam, something like that comes. So all these 20 qualities are given values that one has to cultivate for objectivity. Vairagya is objectivity. It doesn't mean leaving everything. It means dropping things that don't belong. Yeah.
I personally found that as an excellent checklist to prove.
Yes, good.
Excellent checklist.
Good. Keep studying, keep doing that. Very proud of all of you. Yes.
Last
You are
question.
married, you have a young child.
You are married, you have a young
I'll give you an
child.
example that
Okay.
you are married, you have a child.
Yeah.
But you suddenly decide that you want to give up and pursue the knowledge of Vedanta
Yeah.
and leave.
Yes.
But isn't there a conflict here? You have a duty towards your family. You have a duty to your child. Is this an appropriate time to leave and...
Not if you have the question. If you have that question coming, that means it's not the appropriate time. Because the person who is ready to leave will just leave. They will not, think about this. This is what Ramana Maharshi was asked. I'll give you one example of one story. Ramana Maharshi, one man came to him and he says, is sannyasa a good thing to do? Because, you see, I have come to middle age and I would like to do this. Is it a good thing for me to do? Or should I continue in Grihastha-ashrama? And Ramana Maharshi said, continue in Grihastha-ashrama. He got very angry because he was wanting his blessings. He says, what do you mean? You took sannyasa, you cut off your sacred thread, you cut off your hair in the Arunachala, temple, and you did in the temple tank, you took a bath and you came out in loin cloth and you are sitting here away from your family and you have the temerity to tell me that I shouldn't be doing that. And Ramana Maharshi was very calm. And he said, my dear sir, it is true I did all that, but I did not ask anyone's permission. And I know of a woman, very beautiful person. She is a Swami, she is a student of Swami Akhandananda, who is very famous, no longer in the body, very famous Vedantin. And she just went to him one day. She had two small children, 6 and 8, maybe smaller than that, 4 and 8 I think. And she just went, never went back. That's what it is.
Don't you have a duty though, to the children? Because you have taken on the responsibility when you got married, you said you're going to do such and such. So is it okay? I feel there's a conflict, that your duty is important as well.
That's why the Bhagavad Gita says you don't have to leave anything. You can pursue this knowledge while doing this if you're not ready to leave. But that doesn't mean that there are not people who are ready to leave and who don't have that conflict, because they know that they are not the doer, and even if I am taking care of the child every day, it is Bhagavan who is taking care of it. They understand that. They see that much more clearly. They are not confused about it. So for them also there is a way. Loke asmin vividha nishtha pura prokta mayanagha jnana yogena sankhyanam. This is the drastic moksha express. If you are ready to take, come right now. And otherwise, karma yogena, yogina, karma yoga is the moksha milk run. It will stop at every stop. Take hai, enjoy the sights and the sounds. Get back on the train. Don't miss the train. Get back on the train of knowledge. Keep studying. Keep attending the classes, keep doing the duties, and there is no conflict. So what is the conflict? There is Bhagavan is so kind, has made a way for the drastic seekers and for the non-drastic seekers. Because everyone is a seeker. Yeah, no problem, no contradiction.
Swamini has another appointment, sir.
Two things I want to say. One was that when Ajay Vijay got Upanayana, Aruna also